All right, can you rehash, Marcus and Doak in particular, and what they were able to do to help get you the win?
Well, Marcus kind of controlled everything and did a really good job playing point guard, and Doak, controlled this middle and played to his athletic ability and size, and Isaiah made shots. I thought everybody else pitched in and did adequate things, but those were our three best players in the game.
Could that have been Doak's best all-around game because of his defensive effort out on the perimeter?
No, I don't think so. I'd take Doak against Dayton over Doak just about anybody, because he did some of that against Dayton too. But I thought this was the one game where he was able to show that he could really slide more so than others, because obviously there were a lot of switches and things like that. But I think for the most part, he's shown he can do that all year long. I thought he just turned it up a little bit against OU.
You have an update on Dotson?
I do not. I know he's making progress, and we didn't practice yesterday, and he got treatment, and then we hadn't practiced yet today, so we'll see when he's out there. I'm sure that he'll try to practice, but I don't know yet to what extent.
What's your barometer to say that Doak had a good game?
I would just say activity level. I thought Doak played good against Baylor. I just didn't think he got touches, but he can't control whether or not he gets touches a lot of times. But I thought he was good defensively and protected the rim well for us. So I think Doak's one of those guys that can not score and still impact the game in so many ways, because you have the game plan for him. But I think his activity level as much as anything.
What did you learn from Texas last night? Did you watch
to be honest, I have not watched that particular. I've watched games, but I haven't watched that game last night. When they throw in 14 threes, was it 14 or 15 threes? And obviously it's a good road win at Okie State, but I haven't studied that one. I've studied the other ones or some of the other ones, and I know that they're gonna play 4 around 1 a lot, even if Hep is playing the 4, and try to stretch it from all those spots.
How's that match up with you guys?
I think it matches. Well, we better be comfortable with matching up that way, because that's how everybody's going to play for the most part. There's some teams in our league, OU being one, where you don't play with the postman at all. And Tech, looking at Tech, moving forward, they don't a lot. And there's other teams, TCU will, obviously, and West Virginia will. So we kind of have a balance of guys that'll play 2 bigs, but I still think the vast majority will just play 1. So we got to be ready. We got to be ready for that. I think it's an okay matchup for us. Either way they go.
What do you think about Isaiah's role, just for your team moving forward?
Well, I think his role is going to be probably expanded or exaggerated some moving forward than what it has been. Not just because he made shots against OU, but he's a guy that can keep teams honest just because he can shoot the basketball so well. So I can't say his minutes are going to go up. What he played 32 minutes or whatever against OU. I'm not sure that anybody's minutes will stay the same once you work Dot back in there, because he's going to take 30 to 35 of them regardless. But I see him playing starters minutes the rest of the way.
Why do you think it is that your team?
And I didn't say starters minutes. So because, and to me, starters minutes would be in that 25, 28 type range.
Why do you think it is that you've had to tell Isaiah and your team has had to tell him shoot the ball?
Well, we've had issues like that with a lot of our guys. I think that, first of all, I don't think that he's selfish at all. Yeah. I think he's too nice. Kind of like Coach I, they both drive me nuts. They're too nice for young men. But I don't think that he has that assassin mentality as much. But you say that, and then you go back and look, but he's shown in the past. I mean, hey, anytime you score 19 points in 3 minutes or whatever, I mean, you got to be thirsty. And I thought he was a little thirsty the other night. I thought he was thirsty against Baylor early in the game. But we need him to continue to be that way. And a good shot for an average shot for him is better than a good shot for a lot of guys. And sometimes I don't think he understands that quite as much.
Do you think the time, I mean, just now having been a half a season here,
I think you get more comfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, he's got to figure me out.
Sure.
And I don't know if you guys have studied this over time. Usually first-year guys don't figure me out for a while. So you know, and it's all their fault, obviously. So I think I can be difficult on first-year guys coming in, and even though he's a fifth-year senior, he's still a first-year guy.
Are you figuring him out too?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's my point. I think when kids first come in, I haven't thought this through, so I hope it comes out right. You kind of paint it with a broad brush until you really get to know them, and then you can start really being more detailed after you get to know them, because you can't go into a situation and try to be very detailed if you don't know them yet. So you know, what really motivates him? Where is he most comfortable? What area of the floor? What does he not like? What does he do well? What does he not? And sometimes it takes a little bit of time to figure that out. And then after you figure that out, then you can kind of start putting them in more detailed positions. So hopefully I'm going to do a better job with him from this point forward, because it's important for us to do that.
will you let it go to game time with Dotson if you need to, or do you want to know by sometime tomorrow? Or?
Well, I don't know. I'd like to know sometime today, and then whatever, and then if not today, tomorrow morning, and if not tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. I mean, sure, because you need to prepare your team on how to play, but people make too big a deal out of this. We're not going to change our strategy a lot, whether he does or does not. This is who we are, and you know, it's different than football. You play one game a week, and you only play 12. Well, here there's a lot of things. So if he's day to day, you know, I'm not going to change how we play totally for this one game, knowing we're going to go right back the way it is, and then we don't even know if he'll play or not. So we would enjoy having him with us, regardless of when he lets us know. But sooner definitely better than later.
Do some coaches ever think, we got 2 games in 4 days, the next game is SEC game, I'm just going to sit this guy through this whole period? And then,
yeah, I would think some coaches do that. Yeah, I would think so, depending on the injury. I don't believe this is one of those injuries, but I think that if a guy's got a high ankle sprain, for instance, like Marcus last year, man, if we can just get through, get him to next week, you know, there's a much better chance he'll be 95%. So I think that you could do that in a situation like that, but I don't think this injury is one of those that would require you to do that.
Along the lines of the brush, maybe being more detailed with Oj, you know, what's the next step for him? What are you looking for him to do next?
Well, first of all, I thought that Oj did some good things against OU, because he got nicked up and he didn't flinch. So him being out there gave us a chance to win the game. If he's not out there, we probably don't have near as good a chance to win. So especially with Dot being out. So I think, you know, just him remaining to be aggressive, or continually to be aggressive, shoot the ball. You know, he's been pretty good defensively and those sorts of things. But when you worry about all the right things, you're going to play better, and you'll have better stats to show for it. So, you know, hey, do the things that you can control, and not put pressure on you that you got to score to play well. If he doesn't score and he can make sure his man doesn't score, that ain't the worst thing in the world. But continue to take that approach and steal us some extra possessions, I think, would be very important for him going forward. But for us to be a great team, let's be real. I mean, he needs to be a 12 to 15 point a game scorer for us.
He brought so much personality last year after making threes and demonstrating joy and celebrating and things like that. It showed up after he threw that lob the other night late. I mean, I think that can break it for him, make him snap out of this.
I'll be honest with you. I think that our team lacks personality. Dot's not a real personality guy on the court. Ochai, to me, isn't. To me, Doak and Marcus give us our personality as much as anything else. Isaiah's not. And you know, Christian does his stuff, but he's not a rah-rah, or Tristan's not a rah-rah. And it's okay to show some emotion out there. and smile and do these things, but we're kind of stone-faced, and I don't really like that a lot. But Oach will play better when he's playing with more joy. Some guys can play with joy and not smile. Some guys need to smile to play with joy, and I think Oach is one of those guys that needs to show some personality when he's out there playing.
If Devon can't play at Texas, do you need a little bit more scoring balance than you had the other night? It's basically 3 guys doing the bulk of the scoring.
Yeah, but you know, I get a kick out of that. We'd love to have more balance. But sometimes, you know, you get 5 guys to score 60, you get 3 guys to score 60. Let's just get to 60 somehow, some way. So, yeah, I think it would be nice to have that, but I'm not going to say that that's a must. You know, I learned this a long time ago with one of the smartest players I ever coached, Michael Ruffin at Tulsa. I said, we got to do this to win. And he said, so Coach, if we don't do that, I mean, we're going to lose? And you just kind of figure it out as you go. I mean, it was a great lesson for me to learn, and just kind of figure it out as we go. So, yeah, in a perfect world, we'd love to have 5 guys in double figures. But I don't know if that's going to be possible, you know, if you got, you know, your leading scorer sitting out.
Coach, as the challenges of a long season continue to evolve, could you talk to the value of having a guy like Marcus for a basketball team with high aspirations to get through all these different bumps? Somebody who can play a lot of different roles for you.
Well, Marcus is very valuable. Nobody has probably expressed as a coach that they feel like they have a more valuable guy on their team than what I have about him. I think he can do anything to help you win. So I'm very pleased with that. But let's not get carried away. We started 5 newcomers. We started 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores. We started guys over the years that have gone through the grind too. And it's nice to have some older guys kind of educate them going through the grind, but they figured it out just fine as well. So even though Marcus is very important as a leader to help with that, still the ultimate responsibility falls on these young guys as well. And this year to me, and I don't know if this is to your point or not for sure, but this year to me, it's different. You know, last year you had Dot, you had Quentin, you had Ochai. I mean, there's 3 freshmen out there doing it. This year we're not starting any freshmen. It's not like the guys that are playing haven't been through some of the grind before. So I think that I think even though all my teams go through stale periods during the conference season because it is a long season, I'm not sure that youth will be any excuse if that occurs with this team.
Texas, go over the personnel, a rim protector, very athletic point guard. You've seen him before. Just some thoughts on individual players.
Well, Sims is, you know, you can make a case he's the best athlete in the league. Quick twitch. I mean, really, really good athlete. Scored with both hands. You could make a case that Coleman, through all his experiences, could be the most experienced guard in our league. I mean, he's an all-league player, and you know, they're going to play shooters all around. Of course, they got Andrew back out there playing now, and he's an additional offensive threat, which is great to see him back. And I love their 2 guards that'll play with them. So it's and they shoot it good, and they got a good team. I mean, they're like OU. They're an NCAA tournament team. You know, things fall right. They're also a team that probably needs to have some good things happen too, just like everybody. We need good things to happen. Baylor's the only one right now that can really afford, you know, to take a unexpected hit. So we know they'll come ready to play, and they're more than capable. And last time we went down there, shocking their guys got us pretty good. So hopefully we'll be prepared.